Good morning, race fans, and welcome to Donington Park. A rather blustery but dry morning here in the North Midlands. We will be getting underway very shortly. Qualifying coming to an end in just a few minutes' time. And what's up on track first today then? Well, first of all, we start with the first of three races today for the British Superkart Racing Club. If you've not seen Superkart racing before, you've got a treat coming up. The final round of their Super Series here at Donington today. They've got three races, the first of them coming up as soon as qualifying comes to an end. There are over 50 karts here across four classes that will all be racing in together. We'll have a look at the grid then, 'cause it's going to take a while to go through. It's a very big grid out there. Liam Morley set pole position in the qualifying session yesterday alongside number 31 of Sam Moss. The second row, Matt Robinson and the man we heard from earlier, Lee Harpham. In the third row, we've got Ross Allen in number 1 and 26 Andy Gulliford. Row 4, 24 of Tom Rushforth and 113 Dean Forward. In the fifth row, number 9 is Carl Hume and 101 Lee Plain. He's the first of the 250 national drivers. Row 6 is Paul Platt, 5 British Grand Prix wins to his name, alongside 29 Tom Hatfield, and Ben Davis and Carl Kinsey, Mark Newton and Lewis Wall. Kai Cruz from Germany on row 9 alongside James Hassel. So a mixture of 250 national and Division 1 superkarts in the first part of our grid. Then on row 10 we have number 20 of Rob Stubbs alongside 93 Ben Parkinson, then Curtis Seymour and Michael Goff in 4 and 56, 15 Luke Clemson and 53 Martin Marks, 43 Sean Lombardo and 35 Sam Hempshall. She had a few problems in qualifying yesterday. Hopefully we'll see her on the grid. Then we have got the first of the 450 nationals with the pink logo next to their names. Nick Kirk is the first, then alongside GP2 Kevin Ridley, British Grand Prix winner this year in the 450 national class. Then Kostek Kiritsis and Ben Arden, Dave Heathershaw and Will Lawrence. Richard Connick starts alongside the first of the 125 Open karts, Jack Tritton, number 87. Then Clinton Bridge in the 23 alongside Mark Edwards in 68. There's plenty more to come yet. As you say, this is a very big grid. We should be seeing, let's try and work it out, 57 karts for this race, I think. Then Catherine Foster is next alongside Nick Flint, Rob Randall and Steve Burton on row 20. Row 21 is Michael Power and Peter Tilson-Hawke. Andy Powell starts alongside John Faulkner on row 22. John Busby and Simon Gilbert, row 23. Row 24, John Reeder and Chris Mackey. The 25th row, Luke O'Rourke and Mary Howarth. Then on row 26 behind them is Daniel Gerrard and Fletcher Hearn. Row 27, Graham Jones and Ian Challoner. The penultimate row, we've got a couple of karts that didn't set a time in qualifying yesterday. 132 Jordan Bailey is one of them. 57 Mark Pask. He's a Division 1 superkart, Mark Pask, so look for him coming through the field. Starting alongside Jordan Bailey, he's a 250 national. And 126 Ronan McClintock, who's had a win this year in the 450 national, is scheduled to start from the very back of the grid. Ready for our first race of the day then here at Donington Park, the British Superkart Racing Club, the first of three races in their Super Series today. Liam Morley in pole position, Sam Moss alongside him, waiting for the red lights to go out, and here we go, and we've already got karts spinning everywhere. Several of them haven't even reached the start line here. It looks like it's going to be Matt Robinson who goes into the lead, but there's so many karts facing the wrong way coming out of Goddard's. There's hardly any grip out there at all. They're just going to be sliding everywhere. Somebody going wide there, the 93 of Ben Parkinson. Well, I've no idea who's going to come out with the lead. There's another one round. That's GP2. That's Kevin Ridley, the dominant force in the F450 national class this year. It's number 84 of Matt Robinson who has got the lead. 26 of Andy Gulliford, looks like he's up into second. And Ross Allen, number 1, is next. We'll have to wait until they cross the line for the first time and see how the timing stacks up. There's Liam Morley, he's dropped back. And Sam Moss as well. He crosses the line in first place. Ross Allen second. You can see they're just squirming around there. It's a lot more damp than it looks on the circuit at the moment. Gulliford second, Ross Allen third. It's Tom Hatfield, the first of the F250 nationals, up into fourth place ahead of Paul Platt, then Lee Plain. Then we've got Lee Harpham in GP, the British Grand Prix winner from a few weeks ago. Here comes Matt Robinson, still your leader. Ross Allen is catching him now. Now he's got past Andy Gulliford there. Over the line they come. Yes, fastest lap for Ross Allen, 1:58.660. Ross Allen continues to close down our race leader, Matt Robinson. Gulliford looking on. These three are in the clear. Now it looks like, yes, Sam Moss has got through into 4th place. He's the fastest man on track. He does a 1:49.474. That's about 5 seconds quicker than anyone else has managed on lap time so far. Sam Moss, that's your man to watch. Number 31, look at him sliding through Redgate there. Leaders over the line. It's still Matt Robinson from Gulliford. Moss is now up into 3rd. He's just at a 1:38.962. It's drying out all the time out there. There's Moss. Ross Allen is down to 4th. So the leaders come out of the final corner, and it's Moss has got through. And Sam Moss will take the win. 2nd place for Gulliford. Robinson down to 3rd. Well, he led all the way up until the last couple of corners, and Sam Moss it is who takes the win in number 31. That's his 2nd win of the season in Division 1 Supercar. We'll confirm the provisional results of that one then. Sam Moss the winner ahead of Andy Gulliford and Matt Robinson. Ross Allen in 4th, then Lee Harpham. Lee Plain wins the F250 national class ahead of Michael Goff and Tom Hatfield. Carl Kinsey was next home ahead of the number 93 of Ben Parkinson. Lewis Wall in number 44 ahead of 24 of Tom Rushforth. The winner of the F450 national class in 13th place was Costa Kiritzis. Then we've got Ben Davis, number 21, completing the top 15, number 43, Sean Lombardo. Jack Tritton claims the 125 category in 17th place overall. Clinton Bridge a few places further back, the last man on the lead lap in fact. 2nd place in F450 national was Nick Kirk, and 3rd in that division went to Catherine Foster. A race of high attrition there, certainly. It's now time for the first of today's 2 feature races for the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship, the Endurance and Praga category. The cars will shortly be released from the pit lane. I'll bring you the grid momentarily. It's Praga's to the fore as expected. Now the Praga category will have its own championship. They'll be running from separate grids next season. But they're on the front of the grid here. Number 111 in pole position, the Tim Gray Motorsport car. Tim Gray himself is driving this weekend, but it's Richard Wells who starts that car. Tim Gray will take over at the mandatory pit stop. Alongside them, number 87, the Team J2 Praga. That car is started by Jimmy Broadbent. Yep, Jimmy himself, the great sim racer, is here. He shares with Gordy Much, not with his usual partner Jem Hepworth this weekend. She's racing a separate car. So Jimmy starts, Gordy Much takes over. 2nd row, number 29, CW Performance. Richard Morris starts that car. Chippy Vesemale takes over. On the 2nd row alongside them, number 91, the Powerhouse Performance car, started by Charlie Martin. Jack Fabi takes over. Row 3, the 85 Praga, started by Ben Collins, yes, he of Top Gear fame. Jay Morton, the SAS soldier, takes over from him. Alongside them, number 77, the Brit Car Endurance Championship leaders, racing in Class 1, the McLaren Gt3 of Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell. Dave starts. Row 4, we've got the number 7 VR Motorsports car, that's the Praga of Miles Lacey, he drives solo. And then the 3 Lions Praga, number 333 alongside him, also a solo driver, Ash Dibden, at the wheel of that car. Row 5, we've got number 76, the Venture Innovations car, that is the Aston Martin Vulcan. Stephen Tompkins starts. Gleb Stepanovs takes over, the Latvian driver. Alongside him, number 24 of VR Motorsport, that is Jem Hepworth in her Praga, number 24. Row 6, we've got number 3, which is the Tyrannus, driven by Johnny McGregor, the McG racing car, alongside number 84, which is the Bridle twins. Chris Bridle goes first in that Praga, Ed Bridle takes over. Row 7, we've got the number 16 Red River Sports Ferrari 488 Challenge. Bonamy Grimes starts, Johnny Molem takes over. 160 alongside is the Dodge Viper, started by Wayne Mars. Regular Ferrari racer Tom Jackson will take over. Row 8 is the number 51, which is the Beluga Ferrari 458 Challenge. Lewis Plato starts that car. No relation to Jason Plato, incidentally, of touring car fame. That's taken over by Carl Cavers. Number 31, the Motor Swan Praga of Rod Goodman alongside them. Row 9, we've got number 144, which is the Ferrari 458 of Chris Goddard. No relation, sharing with Charlie Hollings. And number 23, the Fox Transport Nissan GTR GT3. Richard Wheeler starts. Danny Harrison, the reigning Brit Car champion, takes over. On row 10, we've got number 32, the SG Racing Porsche. That's the Cunningham family. Mark Cunningham starts. Peter takes over. Alongside another Porsche, number 69, of Marcus Fothergill and Dave Bennett, with their Porsche 991 Cup car. Dave Bennett starts. Row 11, Team Brits. In the number 68, Aston Martin GT4. Bobby Trundley starts. Aaron Morgan takes over. Alongside them, number 58, which is the Ligier JS2R. Charlotte Birch making her debut in that car, normally seen in a Ginetta, as is Jamie Vinol-Meyer, her co-driver. On row 12, we've got the number 99 shared Autosport Seat Cupra TCR. Jonathan Beeson starts. George Healer takes over. Alongside number 60, the EDF Motorsports Seat. Martin Byford starts. Ash Woodman takes over. Row 13, we've got the 44 car, the CTR Alpha-Tune Seat, started by Alex Day, sharing with Will Foster. Number 9 is the PB Racing Porsche of Peter Erteg. Then on the 14th row, number 38, the Triple M Automotive Aston Martin, Mark Albert and Dale Albert. Mark starts. Alongside number 63, the AFM Racing Seat Cupra TCR. Mark Havers scheduled to start, sharing with Rick Kerry, although that car was replacing a drive shaft when the cars, shortly before they were due to be released from the pits, so we'll wait to see if that car does make it out. And on row 15, we've got number 22, the Full Throttle Motorsports Seat Cupra TCR. Richard Avery starts. Nick Hull will take over. And 138, I think this car may have had a problem in qualifying, so we'll wait to see if it's out there. I don't think it did a lap in qualifying. The Simpsons Motorsport Audi TCR, Hugo Cook starts. Sasha Kakar will take over. It's the Pragas who have monopolised the front of the grid. Richard Wells and Jimmy Broadbent on the front row. The pace car unleashes them, waiting for the red lights to go out, and then 1 hour of racing gets underway. Here we go, down towards Redgate for the first time, and a good start, as always, by Richard Wells. Johnny McGregor trying to move through in the Tyrannis on the inside, and through the middle goes Ben Collins. He'll try and take the lead as they come down towards the Craner curves for the first time. Oh, we've got a tangle, a couple of cars. This car's going everywhere. What a mess we've got there. Now, who's come through all that in the lead? I'm not sure at the moment. This car's going absolutely everywhere. Richard Wells is in the gravel. I think it was the number 7 of Miles Lacey who got there. There's another one going backwards. What is going on? Oh no, that's one of our championship contenders. The 24 of Jem Hepworth's been hit. That's Dave Bennett's Porsche. They and Bennett and Marcus Fothergill, the Porsche, they were one of the championship contenders. That's going to be a safety car for definite, and it might well be a red flag. Right, let's have a look then. Your leader is Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin. So it's Charlie Martin in that car at the moment leading it. Miles Lacey is second. There's Johnny McGregor third in the Tyrannis, and fourth is the Nissan GTR of Richard Wheeler. He's gained 14 places in all that. The Aston Martin Vulcan is next. There's debris all over the road at Redgate. Oh my goodness, look at that. That's Ben Collins, 85. That's not a Praga, that's a crab going that sideways. That has well and truly bent its rear suspension. No wonder it was coming down so slowly. I thought it was a puncture at first, but the car completely sideways, grabbing its way round towards the pits. Pace car is pulling in. It's time to go racing once again with 47 minutes on the clock. Here we go, and look at Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannis using the grunt of his V8 engine straight down the inside, and the Nissan GTR is in there as well, and the Aston Vulcan. Miles Lacey's been swallowed up there in the Praga. He drops away. They come through towards the Craners. It's still Charlie Martin that leads the way in the number 91 Praga. Head out of McLean. It's the Tyrannis up into second place. Third is the Nissan of Richard Wheeler. And he's followed by Miles Lacey, who's held fourth ahead of the Aston of Stephen Tompkins. Then it's Mark Cunningham. And then we've got the first of the Ferraris, Lewis Plato. Very quick sports car racer indeed. They fan out across the straight. Look at the Tyrannis down the outside. That is so powerful in a straight line with that V8 engine. The Tyrannis takes the lead into the Fogarty S's. Gregor leads it. The Aston up into second place. What's happened to Charlie Martin? She's dropped back. Well, the Pragas really seem to be struggling in this one. We lost most of them early on. The ones that are still in the battle are starting to lose pace. Yeah, I think the 91 car might have a problem here because Mark Cunningham's Porsche has come through now. Here's the battle for third between Richard Wheeler. That Nissan will really fly when Danny Harrison, the former Praga racer, takes over. Then we've got Miles Lacey. Then it's Mark Cunningham, Lewis Plato, Chris Bridle, and the rest of them. Now, Stephen Tompkins is not hanging about. The Vulcan underneath the rear wing of the Tyrannus. Here comes Chris Bridle down the inside in the blue Praga, attacking Mark Cunningham. Up the inside, takes 6th position away. Tyrannus leads the beautiful Aston Martin Vulcan. McGregor from Tompkins. To third is Lewis Plato, the Nissan GT3 being shuffled back there, the Fox Transport car. In fact, it could lose 4 places because the Pragas come through as well.
Down here in the pit lane with Jimmy Broadbent. Jimmy, talk us through that first lap.
Chaotic, I think, is a good word to use for it, isn't it? Well, on the outside, got an okay start, and I was sort of side by side with Wells going in T1. Then Stig comes flying through the middle, and then after that, I didn't really see what happened. Everyone went flying off into the road, cars everywhere. I had to go into the gravel, see if that would go into the side of Richard, and I lost a lot of places, but the car was okay. It's the important thing. But yeah, I think I've seen it all now.
To your advantage, it was a lot of Pragas, so it's sort of knocking you up the places a little bit as well.
Yeah, I think we've got 3 or 4 of them are out after that, including a couple of the championship runners, which we know doesn't really bother us. We're not in the running for it, but place-wise it's good. Gordy's out now, so we'll have to see where we end up, I guess.
I mean, you take what you get in motor racing, don't you know? Did you say anything to Gordy before you took over?
I just told him where all the fluid was, because there's a lot of fluid down the Carina curves, which is a scary place to have it. So, but I think once you've got the downforce on, it's okay. First lap's a bit scary, but yeah.
Jimmy, great stint, well done. Speak to you later. Good luck.
Thank you, mate.
Back to you, Dave.
Okay, thanks very much there, Ewan. Great to hear from Jimmy Broadbent. After his stint, he was flying in the Praga. Unfortunately, the safety car has been scrambled, as I expected. That will be because of the Cunningham family Porsche stranded on the Melbourne Loop. There's the safety car. Now it has currently picked up the Bobby Trundley Aston Martin. That's because I would imagine the rest of the leaders are going to come into the pits. Into the pit lane comes the safety car. Over the line they go to resume racing here in this Sprint Car Endurance Championship, Endurance and Praga category race 1. And yes, Stepanovs and Tompkins still showing as the leaders, almost a lap ahead of everyone else, because there's McGregor showing in 2nd place. Everybody has completed their stops. So this is effectively the battle for 2nd place at the front of the field, but for the win on points, because as we mentioned, the Aston Vulcan is an invitation class car. So Johnny McGregor, the leader, he's in class 1. It's Carl Cavers at the wheel of the Ferrari now, the red, white and green Ferrari 458 Challenge. That's leading class 3 invitation. And then we've got the first of the Pragas, Ed Bridle and Miles Lacey, 4th and 5th. This is for the lead of the Praga category as well, so Miles Lacey has just taken the lead in his category, attacking the Ferrari. There is Johnny McGregor. Now over the line, his gap to the Aston Vulcan is 1 minute 23.5 seconds. So the Aston Vulcan's still on top. They're all over the back of this Ferrari of Carl Cavers, taken over from Lewis Plato. Miles Lacey to the inside, takes the place away into the old hairpin. There's McGregor. Now, what's the gap to Stepanovs? It's still 1 minute 15, so Stepanovs came in there and almost went straight back out again. He hasn't lost much time. Look at the way Miles Lacey is going in the number 7 up there in 3rd place. He's only less than 7 seconds off McGregor now. And the lead gap, well, with that pit visit, it's now worked out on the timing. The lead gap is down to 19 seconds. So can Johnny McGregor catch the Aston Martin? Meantime, here comes Will Powell. He's chasing down Carl Cavers, passes the Ferrari into Redgates. And Gordy Much has now got into 4th place and he's chasing down Lacey. Gordy Much has just done a 1:27.8, by far the fastest lap of the race. So the gold Praga, started by Jimmy Broadbent, is back up into 4th place. And Gordy Much has got past Miles Lacey there, coming out of Goddard's. He's up into 3rd place now. Gordy Much is going like like an express train here, back up the order, and he's catching McGregor. He's only 2 seconds off the Tyrannus now, the second overall. And the Mars and Jackson car is 10th. The Ferrari, but look at this. Gordy Much up the inside in the coppice, straight past the Tyrannus and into second overall. Now, the lead gap was down to 11.5 seconds last time through. They're lapping about 4 seconds a lap quicker than the Aston Martin Vulcan ahead of them, because Gleb Stepanov's the slightly slower of the two drivers in the Vulcan. Oh, we've got problems there. Somebody's gone up in smoke. Now, who's that? We can't quite see behind the barriers. Is that the Ferrari? Yeah, Charlie Hollings' name I can see there. So that's the Hollings and Goddard Ferrari 458 that's gone up in smoke. Here are the leaders, and look at this over the line. Through goes the 87. Much takes the lead. Down the straight, Gordy Much has done it. So Gordy Much takes Gleb Stepanov's. Now the Praga leads overall. Miles Lacey's now second, and Powell is not holding back, he's lunging. He will have the signal from his pit that he can take the lead of the class here. This could possibly seal them the Endurance Championship, the Motus One with Moorgate team, in the McLaren 650 GT3. Here he comes. He's in the slipstream there as they come down the straight. Can he make the move here at Redgate? McGregor tries to take line. Powell's going to send it up the inside. Is he going to get the lead on the exit here as they come through Hollywood towards the Craner curve? There's Miles Lacey, and the McLaren is through. Will Powell leads the class. And now this could be critical for the championship. There's no dropped scores this year in the endurance category. And this car is going to surely now come in for its first win. Through the Fogarty S's. Out over the top, coming up on Tim Gray in his Praga. We wait for the gold car to come into sight. Here it comes. The checkered flag is in sight. Gordy Much and Jimmy Broadbent are winners at Donington. A fantastic drive by both of them. Absolutely superb. Well, there'll certainly be some big celebrations after this one. A first win for Jimmy Broadbent, sharing with Gordy Much in the gold J2 Praga. Miles Lacey taking second place, then the Bridles in third ahead of Jack Fabi and Charlie Martin. The endurance category won by Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus, ahead of the championship leaders Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell in the McLaren, and that awesome Aston Vulcan next home, having led a portion of that race. The Nissan GT3 of Wheeler and Harrison next home ahead of the Beluga Ferrari of Cavers and Plato, completing the top 10. That's a brilliant Dodge Viper of Wayne Mars and Tom Jackson. The next Praga home in 11th place, that's the Wells Grey car, still fighting for the championship ahead of Peter Erscheg, a class win in his Porsche to keep his overall hopes alive. Rod Goodman in behind them ahead of the TCR car of Beeson and Healer. Ashley Woodman and Martin Byford in the EDF Seat Cupra TCR next to the similar car of Alex Day and Will Foster. Behind them, the Ligier, driven by Charlotte Birch and Jamie Vinall-Meyer. Then the Trundley and Morgan Aston Martin, the Team Brit machine, ahead of Nick Hull and Richard Avery's Seats. The Alberts in their Aston Martin, the Chris Goddard, Charlie Hollings Ferrari, and the Cunningham's Porsche completing the classified cars. Of course, we lost a number of cars early on in that race, including several Pragas, a total of 4 Pragas not making the finish. Then also lost the Audi TCR. The Bond Grimes, Johnny Molem Ferrari was caught up early on, along with the Fothergill Bennett's Porsche and another of the TCR cars. Brick car time next, the Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship Trophy category, and the pre-race favourites have taken pole position. The number 10 Woodrow Motorsports BMW 1 Series. So the number 10 car starts on pole. They're the current championship leaders as well. It'll be Simon Baker going first, and Ollie Rubin will take over at the pit stop. SVG Motorsports Ginetta alongside number 74, that is Mark Lee, he drives solo. On the second row, we've got the BMW of number 40, Jasvir Sapra and Brian Branson. Brian Branson is going first. Alongside the number 111, the Dayton Motorsport Ginetta, Axel van Nederveen, the Dutchman, drives solo in that car. On row 3, number 93, Kester Cook in his Ford Fiesta. He drives solo alongside the Mac G Racing Mazda RX-8. That car is not starting this race. They're repairing some chassis damage to that car, so that won't be starting. Johnny McGregor and Josh Tomlinson. Hopefully we'll see that back out for race 2. Row 4, we've got number 20, which is Charlie Campbell and Rob Smith in the Peugeot RCZ. Rob Smith is going first. And alongside them, the County Classics Porsche. Number 15, Richard Higgins will be driving that car, and he's the points leader, I should say, in Class 2. He'll be a championship contender in this one. Row 5, we've got number 22, the Mark Wakefield Motorsport VW Golf. Ollie Turner is the driver of that one. He's in Class 3 Invitation. Alongside number 70, good to have Team Brits out there. That's their BMW, started by Paul Vokes. Andrew Tucker will take over. Row 6, we've got number 2, the Ginetta G40. Peter Spano starts the Raman and SVG car. Adriano Medeiros, very quick driver, will take over. Alongside number 118, the Jam Sport Nissan 370Z. David May starts. Mark Skeets will be relayed at the pit stop. On row 7, we've got number 77, VW Golf. Robert Ellick starts. Anthony Rogers will take over. Alongside the first of the Clio class cars, the Thompson family in the Westbourne Motorsport car. Aaron Thompson starts. His father Steve will take over. Another Westbourne Clio is next, number 64. Richard Colburn will start that car. Grant Williams takes over. Alongside them, the Team IP and Antac car in Class 2. That's the number 80 Porsche Boxster. Anthony Hutchins starts. Chris Dawkins takes over. Row 9, number 28, which is the Clio Invitation class car. Brad Thurston starts, and Will Powell, the new Brit Car Endurance champion, swaps his McLaren for a Clio today. He'll take over at the pit stop. Alongside then, number 46, the TSR VW Golf. Rob Taylor starts. Mark Jones will take over at the pit stop. Then on to row number 10. We've got another Westbourne Motorsport Clio. James Black driving solo in that one, number 67. 83 is the Derek McMahon Racing Honda Civic. The Cook family. Edward Cook starts. Steve Cook takes over. Row 11 is number 19, the little Ginetta G20. Jamie Vinnell-Meyer is normally in that car, but not this weekend. Tony Draper is the driver in that car. He'll relay Steve Griffiths at the pit stop. Starting alongside yet another Westbourne Motorsport Clio, Ellis Bardsley starts that car. James Colburn, son of Richard, takes over. Row 12, we've got number 11, which is another Motus One Renault Clio. Unfortunately, that car had an accident in qualifying and will not be starting, so the number 11 car is not there. 45 is Derek McMahon Racing's Honda Civic. It's Arthur McMahon who is driving it. Row 13, we've got Team Brits BMW 118. Luke Pound starts that car. Christian Overend will take over. Alongside number 8, the Gemco Racing Porsche. Kevin Hancock starts. Lee Smart takes over for the second stint. Row 14, we've got number 4. That's the Clio of Anton Spires and Darren Gerhardt. It's Darren who starts in the number 4 machine. Alongside 57, which is the Derek McMahon Racing Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Barry McMahon, this year's Alfa Romeo Championship winner, will start that car, relaying Paul Plants. Row 15, number 35, the Chandler Motorsports VW Golf. Andy Wheatley starts. Stephen Chandler takes over. Alongside number 50, the BC Cars Mazda MX-5. First of 2 cars for them. The number 50 is driven by Alistair Easom. The second of them, number 75, is driven by Colin Wells. And alongside them, number 99 is the Golf of Simon McCormick, who starts. Kerry O'Donnell takes over. And at the back of the field, number 6, the Quattro Motorsport Ginetta G40. Bill Forbes is the driver there. Countdown clock has started in this second lap behind the pace car, so we are technically underway, starting behind the safety car. So we get underway then. The pace car is in pit lane, and we're underway with the first race of the day for the Goodyear Brit Car Endurance Championship Trophy category. Racing into the spray at Redgate. It is Woodrow Motorsports BMW who leads the early going. Mark Lee in the Ginetta up into second. Brian Branson in the grey BMW is third. Mark Lee already having a look. Those extra light bars on the front of the Ginetta look pretty menacing, don't they? The attack out of the old hairpin. Oh, Kester Cook is in the grab on the exit of Redgate. Now, can he dig that out of there? He should be able to. Yes, the marshals were coming out to help him, but he's got the car out of the gravel. Now, hopefully he can get that car running again. Woodrow Motorsports with Simon Baker lead the way. Look at the way the Peugeot is going for number 20, Rob Smith there. Past Brian Branson, who races an older BMW M3 and E36 version. Oh, the leader's spun it. Simon Baker's gone. Mark Lee onto the grass in avoidance, so Axel van Nederveen says thank you very much, I'll take the lead in the treble one car. That was very lucky. I thought we were going to have a collision there. So it's Van Nederveen who leads, Rob Smith second, Brian Branson third, Ollie Turner up into fourth in the Golf. Then we've got David May in the Nissan 370Z. You can see Mark Lee's done a bit of mowing there on the grass. A rare mistake for Simon Baker. That tells you how wet it's become. Look at the way Ollie Turner's going up into, he's going to go for third place here in the Golf. And of course a front wheel drive car past the rear wheel drive BMW of Brian Branson, probably struggling a bit to put the power down there. And meanwhile Rob Smith in the Peugeot RCZ trying to attack for the lead here. Clio's battling it out in the midfield. We'll pick up the class leaders as the race goes on. Side by side there for the lead between Axel van Nederveen and Rob Smith. Turner is third. Fourth place we've got Brian Branson, then David May, then Richard Higgins, looking for a win in Class 2 to keep his championship hopes alive, but he's having to give best at the moment to David May. There's the Clio class leader, Aaron Thompson, leading the Clio championship ahead of the Ginetta of Mark Lee. The lead has changed down the Craner curves. For the first time I think this season, the Peugeot RCZ leads the way. Rob Smith sharing with Charlie Campbell. Second place is Axel van Nederveen in the Dayton Motorsport Ginetta, but he's under fire from Ollie Turner, who's looking well fired up here in the Mark Wakefield Motorsports VW Golf. Up into McLaren's at the top of the circuit. Behind them is Brian Branson and then David May in the 370Z. Mark Lee has recovered, I think, better than Simon Baker from that incident on the opening lap. This is where the incident happened. Simon Baker spun, Mark Lee went off in avoidance. No problem through this time. Safety car into pit lane, the green flag is waved, and we're back underway. Rob Smith in the Peugeot RCZ leads them down towards Red Gates. And is that Simon Baker slowing up there in the BMW? In the background I saw him quite slow away. Mark Lee wasting no time attacking Richard Higgins in the Porsche, goes through up into fifth position. Whether Simon Baker, has he got a problem there, or was he just trying to avoid going past a slightly slower car? Yes, I think that was the case, because there he is, he's up to speed again now. I think he was behind the slower Clio there of Aaron Thompson and didn't want to pass it before the timing line and risk getting a penalty. Well, Rob Smith leading by 5 seconds. He's just done a 1:53.2 on that last lap. That's at least 2.5 seconds quicker than anybody else has managed. Here comes Turner in the Golf, gets the better exit from Coppice this time. Is he going to try and take the BMW? No, that's more powerful BMW M3, quicker in a straight line. Here comes Mark Lee up the inside in the Ginetta. Doesn't quite get the overlap on David May in the Nissan. There's Higgins, 6th in the Porsche. The lead is now over 8.5 seconds as Lee draws past Turner up into 3rd position overall. Leader comes across the line, there's the board out, pit window open. We'll see our first mandatory pit stops taking place. Who's going to be the first to peel in? Paul Vokes, and in comes Brian Branson. So he's the first of the leaders coming. I think the Peugeot has gone through, yes it has. So Brian Branson is in, and Jasvir Sapra will take over. Mark Lee has come in the Ginetta from 2nd place. Another of our front runners to pit. That leaves Rob Smith with a clear lead. He's leaving it late, and as I say that, he comes in. So the leader, Rob Smith, is in to hand over to Charlie Campbell. Rob, I think, is the slightly quicker of the two drivers there, so spending as much time in the car as possible. We've got 13.5 minutes of this race to go. The pit window is now closed. Everybody's taken their stops. Mark Lee goes through, and he does indeed go to the top of the times. So Mark Lee is your race leader in the SVG Motorsport Ginetta. Is he finally going to get his first win of the season? Here comes Charlie Campbell in the Peugeot. The gap is now 15 seconds. Drops through Goddard, still there in 2nd, Richard Higgins, but Mark Skeets on his tail, and Higgins, as we say, will want to hang on in front there because this is for the lead of Class 2, and Higgins wants to keep his championship hopes alive, especially with the Woodrow Motorsport car out of this race. Lee Turner behind them in the Golf, the ex-VW Racing Cup driver. Race 2 later on. Oh, the Nissan's pulled up. What has happened there? Mark Skeets, who was challenging for 2nd overall, and for the class lead, has stopped on the exit of the hairpin. they'll be chuffed with second in class and fourth place here. But here's the fight for second. Higgins and Turner, nose to tail. Can the Golf take second overall? It's keeping pace with Richard Higgins. Through comes the second overall battle. These two are in different classes. The two Clios we saw there, Thompson and James Black, there's only a short distance between the two of them. In fact, they're side by side now. That's for the lead of the Clio class. And 67 James Black is going to go through at Redgates. Yes, he's just taken the lead in the Clios. Last thing Steve Thompson wanted to happen. There goes our overall leader. Wait to see if the checkered flag is going to come out this time for the Ginetta G56A, the SVG Motorsport car of Mark Lee. He comes out of Goddard's corner, he sees the checkered flag, and at long last in 2021, Mark Lee is a winner in the Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship trophy category. Congratulations, Mark Lee, that win is a long time coming. He'll be very relieved to have taken that when he's been on the podium in just about every race this year. Mark Lee is your winner by nearly a minute in the end, ahead of Richard Higgins, who wins Class 2. That's important for the championship. Ollie Turner wins Class 3 invitation in his Golf in third place. Then Tucker and Vokes for Team Brit in fourth. Sapper and Branson in the BMW fifth. Campbell and Smith completing the top six. And the last car on the lead lap, the Porsche Boxster of Hutchins and Dawkins. Peter Spano and Adriano Medeiros eighth in their Ginetta, and the close battle in the Clio class won by James Black, just ahead of the Thompson family. Thurston and Powell in Clio invitation next home, then Spires and Gerhardt. Jones and Taylor win Class 3 in their Golf by less than a second from Rogers and Ellick in their similar machine. Coburn and Williams, Richard Coburn, that is Coburn Senior, completing the top 15. Pound and Overend for Team Brit in their BMW 16th, then the Alfa Romeo of McLaren and Plants, the Cook family in their Honda Civic next home, then the Griffiths Draper Ginetta G20, only sixth in Class 3. That could possibly harm their chances of the Class 3 title. McCormick and O'Donnell, the penalised Golf, finishes further down the order than anticipated in 20th, ahead of Kester Cook in the Fiesta, never really recovered from that first lap off. Hancock and Smart's Porsche Boxster, and then the Chandler and Wheatley Golf, Alistair Easham's Mazda MX-5. We lost David May and Mark Skeets, of course. We lost Arthur McMahon's Honda Civic. Colin Wells was several laps down in the Mazda. And we lost the Forbes Ginetta, of course the Baker and Rubin BMW, Van Nederveen in the Ginetta, and the Colburn Bardsley Clio crashed out. Okay, we can now hand down to Ewan Dunlop, who is down in Park Firling.
Well, my goodness me, quite a lot to decipher from all of that. A lot of classes, a lot of racing going on, but plenty of winners too in classes. We've even got a championship winner confirmed in the Thompson father and son duel. But let's speak to Mark Lee. Look at these beautiful machines, and plenty coming in behind us. We're going to spin around in a second and look at a few more. But first of all, Mark, can we grab you?
Yeah, you're right.
Mark Lee here, race winner. You've come close plenty of times this season, but I think Brands Hatcher had a couple of second places or podiums. But to get a win, how does that feel?
Oh, it's top the season off. Yeah, right, good. Yeah.
I mean, in terms of the championship as well, fourth place. I don't know if you know, the championship leaders didn't finish, so it's pumped you up a little bit. I think you're too far behind, but it's still a fantastic day.
There's a drop. Yeah, there's a drop score, which I'm not sure where that leaves us. So yeah, okay. If I could get top three, in championship, that'd be a result for us.
I'll be honest, I don't think anybody knows exactly how many points who's on board at the moment, but great to see they win. So you dealt with the rainy conditions absolutely perfectly too.
Yeah, just tried to not push it too far, but yeah.
But moved away from the pack where you need to do. The car obviously performed perfectly.
Yeah. Luckily, on Wednesday, I did a track day Wednesday, and it just we had every single condition from dry to wet. So I felt like already perfect conditions for us, really. Yeah.
And one more race to come. I mean, you've had a great weekend already. What can you do in race number 2?
Yeah, well, obviously we've had drive shaft going qualifying, so we're down to about 17th in race 2. I only got 3 laps in. Right. I got half a flying lap in. Luckily that got us second on the grid. So yeah, we're gonna have to just power through, I think, and hopefully get on the podium.
I mean, that's going to be lots of fun in itself, isn't it? Just going through the field.
Yeah, enjoy that. Yeah.
Mark, congratulations, well done. We'll see you later on.
Well, hopefully we'll get an update on the points. Try and do some mathematics here in the commentary box, but maths is not my strong point, unfortunately. The grid for this next race, set by the lap times from race 1. And it was Sam Moss who, as well as winning, set the fastest lap for this race. So he takes pole position. Andy Gulliford starts alongside. Row 2 is Matt Robinson and Ross Allen. Tom Rushforth and Lee Harpham on row 3. Then Carl Kinsey and Ben Parkinson on the 4th row. The 5th row, we've got the first of the F250 Nationals, Louis Wall and Tom Hatfield, then Lee Plain and Sean Lombardo. Row 7, Michael Goff and the first 450 National runner Costa Kiritzis. Dave Heathershaw and Ben Davis on row 8. Row 9, Graham Jones and the first of the 125 Open Class Karts, Jack Tritton. On the 10th row, Ben Arden and Richard Connick. The 11th row, Rob Randall and Mark Newton. Mark Edwards and Dean Forward on row 12. And row 13, Clinton Bridge alongside Will Lawrence. That's a 125 and a Division 1 supercart on the same row. Row 14, Luke Clemson and John Reeder. Row 15, it is Martin Marks and Catherine Foster. The 16th row, there's a gap where Ronan McClintock should be. Hopefully he'll be there. McClintock alongside Daniel Gerard. Luke O'Rourke and John Busby on row 17. Andy Powell and Paul Platt on row 18. Paul Platt, will be interesting to see him come through from 36th on the lineup. The British Grand Prix winner in the 250 national class. Row 19, Nick Kirk and Rob Stubbs. Then Liam Morley all the way back in the 20th row of the grid after failing to finish the earlier race. Of course, the further drivers went in race 1 as the track dried out a bit, the quicker their lap times got, and Liam Morley didn't complete the race, so his lap times are slower. He starts on the 20th row alongside James Hassel, so I'll watch for Liam coming through from there. Then we've got row 21, Kai Cruz and Fletcher Hearn, and Sam Hempsall and Curtis Seymour, Jordan Bailey and Peter Tilson-Hawke, then Mary Howarth and Chris Mackey will be next on the lineup, then Simon Gilbert and Carl Hume. Mark Pask and Nick Flint will be next on the grid. Then Steve Burton and Ian Challoner, John Faulkner and Kevin Ridley, the F450 national points leader. And finally Michael Parr, number 49. Slight amendment to the back of the grid there. Here we go then, and they fan out across the straight. One kart slowing there already. I think that's Tom Rushforth, number 24. Ross Allen round the outside, and through the middle goes Lee Harpham into the lead on the first corner at Redgates. Liam Morley already up there. We've got a couple of spinners. Gulliford's one of them from the front row of the grid. The 68 of Mark Edwards in the gravel. 63 involved as well, Richard Connick. Mark Edwards stuck there in the gravel. That's the end of his race. But it's Lee Harpham, the British Grand Prix winner, who has flown into the lead. Ross Allen second. He's under fire now. Couldn't quite see who from. And Sam Moss, the pole sitter's down to 4th. Liam Morley's already made up a swathe of places as expected, but up the hill they go, and Lee Harpham has checked out at the front of the field. That was a rocket of a start. He absolutely flew into Redgate for the first time, and he has taken off into the lead. Here comes Morley. He's going past cars like they're standing still. Round the outside of him though comes number 3 of Carl Kinsey as they go into Coppice for the first time. I think Morley's up into about 6th position already, and he started 39th. There's Harpham the leader, Moss second. Morley's 4th already. 35 places in half a lap. I'd say that's some sort of record for British motorsport, surely. Incredible from Liam Morley. Can he take the lead by the end of the first lap? That would outdo even Ayrton Senna in 1993, I think. Matt Robinson attacking the number 3 of Carl Kinsey. There's the battle for the lead in the F250 national category. We'll have to go to the timing screen to see who's leading the classes here. It's going to be Lee Harpham, the British Grand Prix winner, from 6th on the grid, who leads as they come across the stripe for the first time. Moss in 2nd, somebody coming out of the pits there. Ross Allen is in 2nd place, in fact, in the number 1. Moss is 3rd, and Morley up to 4th. 35 places gained in 1 lap. Morley round the outside, he's surely going to take 3rd here. Side by side with the number 1 of Ross Allen. No, Ross Allen holding the place there. Here come the leaders, and Sam Moss has taken the lead. Moss leads through Coppice. So Sam Moss, your new leader. And where's Liam Morley gone? I saw Matt Robinson there in 4th place. Have we lost Liam Morley again? Yes, he's dropped back down the order, so Morley's hit trouble again. Disastrous weekend for Liam Morley, and Lee Harpham's fighting back as they come down towards the hairpin. Look at this, Sam Moss goes out wide, Allen understeers wide in third, nearly spins as he corrects it, understeer to oversteer there. Who's going to come out of this with the lead? Look at these three going at it. Matt Robinson has just got past Lee Harpham up into third place. Now he's going to go after the two leaders. Harpham's having none of it though, he fights back into Redgate. Robinson just about holds him off. Of the final corner, there's the checkered flag. It's the second win today for Sam Moss. Ross Allen second, Matt Robinson third, and Lee Harpham has to settle for fourth. So look at the results. First of all, though, Moss the winner ahead of Ross Allen by 0.7 of a second. Then Matthew Robinson third, Lee Harpham, Carl Kinsey, then Carl Hume and Lee Plain in seventh wins the F250 national category. Andrew Gulliford racing through nicely for 8th place after spinning on the first corner. Luke Clemson and Dean Forward round out the top 10. Ben Davis was next, ahead of Tom Hatfield, then Heathershaw, Hassel and Goff rounding out the top 15. Next home was the number 44 of Lewis Wall, ahead of Sam Hempshall, number 4 of Seymour. The F450s won by Kevin Ridley, second of that class Costa Kiritsis, and Nick Kirk was third in number 233, and the 125s won by Jack Tritton down in 29th place overall. Okay, I think we can shortly hand down to Park Ferme, and Ewan will be talking to our race winner Sam Moss in a moment.
Here we go then, back in Park Ferme after our second of 3 supercarts races. A little bit more process that one from our first race, with plenty of cars going off, but everybody's staying in the race pretty much this time. But a lot of deja vu. Sam Moss, second time winner, Lee Plain, second time winner, and Liam Morley, second time non-finisher during a championship race. So let's get up with our winner first of all, wearing a full-on Mac here as well, Sam Moss. A bit like Liam Plain over there, 2 wins, 2 races, fantastic day for you so far.
Yeah, so far, I mean, last time we were here, last month, I didn't have such a good run. I ended up chucking it in gravel on first race, which wasn't a bright idea. But this time, yeah, kept it on track, both opening laps. Mainly just because in such a gaggle, you don't know what's going to happen on first corner. So it's best just to let them get on with it and then see where you are after the first one. I
mean, superkarting racing, it can be absolutely ridiculous. We saw Liam Plain behind you. He started 39th on the grid. He made up 35 places in the first half lap. How does that happen?
Good driving and plenty of engine power.
So go for the hat-trick later on this afternoon?
Fingers crossed, yeah, but I mean, anything can happen. There's at least half a dozen of us that can win, so yeah. And
last question, you're dressed slightly differently to everybody else in this race. Do you just not like the rain?
I just like to stay dry. End of the day, it's October. It should be chucking it down and freezing cold, so yeah, I'm not risking it.
Well, look, it worked this time round. We'll see you before race 3 later on this afternoon.
We're getting ready for our next race for the supercarts then. The grid once again is set by the lap times from race 1, but carts that didn't race 2 rather, but carts that didn't finish race 2 will have to line up at the back. That's how it works. So while Liam Morley got a quick lap time in race 2, he got a 1:43.216, he actually has to start from the 22nd row of the grid. Well, he made up about 35 places on the first lap of the second race. Let's see if he can do the same again here. Of course, the man on a hat-trick is Sam Moss in the final race of the season for the British Superkart Racing Club Super Series. 4 classes in action again. See a grid of over 50 carts lining up very shortly. Here's the grid then for the final superkart race of the day. The finishers line up first, set on their lap times from race 1. So Sam Moss on pole alongside Matt Robinson. He had a good run towards the end of race 2. Second row, Ross Allen and Lee Harpham. Then Carl Hume and Andy Gulliford. Watch out for him. Raced through after a spin on the first corner to take 8th in the earlier race. Carl Kinsey and Lee Plain on row 4. Then completing the top 10, Dean Forward and James Hassel. Luke Clemson and Sean Lombardo on the 6th row. Sean Lombardo hampered by a pit lane start in race 2. Curtis Seymour and Tom Hatfield on row 7. Then Ben Davis and Dave Heathershaw. Michael Goff and Kevin Ridley, the 450 Grand Prix winner, on row 9. Then the 10th row, Rob Stubbs and Lewis Wall. Mike Newton alongside Nick Kirk. Then Sam Hempshall, she starts alongside Will Lawrence. We've got Mark Pask alongside Kai Cruz on row 13. Then Rob Randall and Costa Kiritsis, he took the win in race 1 in his category. Richard Connick starts alongside John Busby. Steve Burton and Clinton Bridge, with behind him Jack Tritton, the two 1-2-5 open pace setters almost together on the grid. Luke O'Rourke alongside Tritton, then Martin Marks and Nick Flint on row 18. Row 19 is Michael Parr alongside Andy Powell. Then we've got Ronan McClintock and Daniel Gerard. Peter Tilson-Hawke starts alongside Mary Howarth. And then we've got the non-finishers from the earlier race. Liam Morley this time starts 43rd on the grid. Let's see how many places he can make up from there. Jordan Bailey alongside him. Then we have got Catherine Foster and Simon Gilbert. John Reader alongside Chris Mackey, Fletcher Hearn and Ben Arden. And beyond that, because I think our graphics are limited to 50 names, Ben Parkinson and Tom Rushforth. Watch for him an early retirement in race 2. Graham Jones and Mark Edwards, Ian Challoner and Paul Platt. Hopefully Paul Platt has made it out. And John Faulkner starts from the back in number 66. About to get underway then with the final race of the weekend for the British Supercar Racing Club Super Series. Their third race over 10 minutes. Sam Moss, number 31, in pole position, looking for a hat-trick. Matt Robinson, number 84, starts alongside him. The revs begin to rise from these 250, 450 and 125cc engines. The red light goes out and away we go. Super start by Lee Harpham from the second row of the grid. And it looks like he's going to take the lead as they go into Redgate for the first time. Side by side with Sam Moss on the number 31. Good start by Dean Forward on 113 moving through the order. Going to tangle further back, 3 or 4 carts go off. The 15 of Luke Clemson spun. Curtis Seymour, number 4, is caught up. 43 of Sean Lombardo. Somebody else in there I couldn't quite make out. Sam Moss, the pole sitter, is down to 4th. He's dropped behind Matthew Robinson there as they stream their way down the now dry Donington Park circuit. Look at the speed as they head out of Old Hairpin, then up towards McLean's. Battle is on for the lead. I can see a yellow light flashing though. Lee Harpham leads it. It's number 3 of Carl Kinsey up into second place. There's a yellow light on there at McLean's. Did that mean somebody had gone off? I'm not sure. GP Lee Harpham leads the way. It's the number 11, we're told, that has gone off, Simon Gilbert, going through McLean's. Second place Carl Kinsey, then Moss, Robinson, Ross Allen and Carl Hume in cart number 2. Down towards the hairpin for the first time. Lee Harpham, the British Grand Prix winner, locks up a little into the hairpin. Look at Matt Robinson up the inside, and Moss has gone wide as well. Now where is Liam Morley? If, of course, he took the start of the race. I didn't see him on the grid lineup this time. I'm not sure if Liam Morley is out there because of his problems earlier on. Sam Moss is in trouble, he's slowing, and round goes Andy Gulliford. Look out! That was close. Nearly collected by Dean Forward. That was frightening. Sam Moss has got a problem. He's slowing down in number 31, so it won't be a hat-trick for the Yorkshireman. Andy Gulliford has recovered there. That was a scary moment. So Harpham leads, Robinson second. Down the Craner curves. Remember, these Division 1 supercars, they can top 140 miles an hour in a straight line. They're almost as mad as motorcycle racers, some put it once. Here comes Carl Kinsey to the inside of Matt Robinson, goes through. Robinson fights back on the run down to the chicane, and now with the track dried out, as we said, they can race full on at their very, very best. Lee Harpham showing his liking for Donington, pulls away. Just a shame we haven't got Liam Morley this time. His problems from race 2 proving terminal as 3 wide there. Oh, look at this. Ross Allen gets knocked from pillar to post. On the grass is Carl Kinsey. How did he not spin there? Number 2 is up behind them as well, Carl Hume. It's a 4-way dice for second place. Lee Harpham pulling away. Here comes the fight for second. Robinson, Allen. Carl Hume's up to 4th. Kinsey down to 5th. Then Sam Moss, I don't know what the problem was there, but he's got going again. He's in 6th place after he slowed earlier on. I thought he was out of the race. So he could yet fight back for the hat-trick. Lee Harpham looks back there, then gets his head down behind the fairing. Here comes Hume in the number 2 up the inside. Robinson dodges to the inside. Look at the reflexes of Matt Robinson there. That's what you need to be a top supercar racer. Incredible from Matt Robinson, the way he threw the kart across the circuit there. Here comes Carl Kinsey. He's on the attack for second place. Ross Allen tries to move to cover, but Kinsey gets through into Coppice Corner. Behind them is the 84 of Robbins, down to 4th. The 31 closing in. Just over 2 minutes to go now, so it'll probably be last lap this time. And Sam Moss slices in between the two of them. Goodness me, there was barely any room there, and he's through for 3rd. Sam Moss must have heard me there. I said he could still possibly get his hat-trick if things go his way, and he literally threw the cards past both Ross Allen and Matt Robinson. Here they come, they're almost side by side. Harpham's having to defend as they go into the hairpin. He does not want to outbrake himself, or Sam Moss will be through. They pass a spun cart there, and Robinson up the inside. He's getting back into it, bangs fairings with the 31 of Moss. A spin for the 52, that's Steve Burton. Now they're coming round to take the checkered flag. It looks like, is it going to be Lee Harpham? I think he's done enough. Here they come. Harpham just gets it side by side for second over the line. It was a photo finish between Robinson and Moss. Allen fourth. Robinson just gets second on the line. Looking down at the 125s. In fact, we've lost Clinton Bridge. He didn't come over the line. So, in fact, where's Jack Tritton? No, he finishes second. Fletcher Hearn has won the 125s. So something must have happened there further back. But Lee Harpham takes the win by 0.45 of a second ahead of Robinson, Moss and Allen, who crossed the line quicker than I could read their names. Carl Kinsey was fifth ahead of Gulliford, Forward, Gulliford, Forward and Rushforth. The rest of the results, Kevin Ridley wins the 450s. We know that the F250 Nationals won by Lee Plain in 9th overall. And outside the top 30, there must have been a tangle or something in the 125 open category, because Clint Bridge went out, Jack Tritton finished a couple of laps down, and Fletcher Hearn has won the 125 open race, his first win of the season. We'll hand down to Ewan Dunlop in the paddock while I get my breath back and hear from our race winner.
First of all, speak to Lee Harpham. Lee, got the W in the end.
Yeah, we got it in the end. I mean, that second race today, we just struggled with rear end grip, got away from the lights. Massive lead at the start, and blistered the rear tyres. Just went too wrong with the setup, and that was it. I was just struggling.
The speed these things go at never fails to take anybody's breath away. They are utterly rapid, aren't they?
Yeah, they're incredible machines. I mean, there's nothing that will match that you could buy for this money. They're just incredible.
So if anybody wants to get into this sport, is it legitimately anybody can sort of just, I say buy one of them? I'm sure they're expensive, but you can just come along and start racing?
Yeah, you could buy one of them. You just apply for your licence from Motorsport UK. Start off as a novice, get you a few metres under your belt, and then you can drive one of these straight away.
Back to the championship, obviously Liam Morley failed to finish 3 races today. In terms of the championship, you couldn't have dreamed of that at the start of this run today, could you?
I know, it's amazing. I mean, it all come down to the last race with Sam. Worked out the points, and if he was in front of me, I had to finish directly behind him, or it was just go for the win and be done. So, changed the setup on it, and it's been brilliant.
So you'll enjoy the rest of your weekend with good memories of Donington this weekend?
Yeah, definitely.
Congratulations, buddy. Great end to the weekend.
Okay, getting ready for our launches, the Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship Endurance and Praga categories. In pole position for this one, based on the second fastest times in qualifying, number 111, which is the Tim Gray Motorsports at Praga. Driving that one will be Richard Wells for the first stint. Alongside them will be number 87, Jimmy Broadbent starts the Gold Praga, the winners of race 1. Second row, 29, which will be started by Richard Morris, showing with Chippy Wesmail, alongside the number 91, started by Charlie Martin. Row 3, number 77, the Mclaren. More on them in a moment. They got a penalty in race 1 for an infringement and dropped to second in class, so the championship is not over yet. Dave Scaramanga starts that car. Starting alongside the number 85 Praga, Jay Morton is going first in that showing with Ben Collins. Row 4, number 7, which is Miles Lacey, alongside the number 24 car, which will be Jem Hepworth in her Praga. The 5th row, 333, which is Ash Dibden, alongside the number 16 Red River sports car. Bonamy Grimes starts the Ferrari, showing with Johnny Molan. Row 6 is Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus, number 3, and number 76, the Aston Martin Vulcan, started by Stephen Tompkins. Row 7, number 160, Wayne Mars will take the start in the Dodge Viper, shared with Tom Jackson, alongside number 51, Lewis Plato starts the Ferrari, shared with Carl Cavers. On the 8th row, number 84, which is the Bridles, Ed Bridle is going first this time, alongside number 144, Chris Goddard starts the Ferrari, shared with Charlie Hollings. Hopefully that car is back out. It rather went up in smoke in race 1. Number 31 is on row 9. That's Rod Goodman's Praga, starting alongside 32. That car will not be starting. The Cunningham's Porsche breaking down in race 1. Then on row 10 we've got number 23. Quite a long way back on the grid for the Nissan GTR. Richard Wheeler is going first, alongside the number 69 Porsche. Hopefully they've repaired that car. Not sure of the starting driver in that one, I'm afraid. Row 11, number 68, which is Team Brits in the Aston Martin. Aaron Morgan going first this time, alongside number 99, TCR Golf, started by George Healer. Row 12, number 58, which is Jamie Vinnell-Meyer going first in the Ligier for Reflex Racing, alongside number 60, started by Martin Byford, the Seat Cupra. Row 13, number 9, which is Peter Erscheg in the PB Racing Porsche, alongside the CTR Alpha Tune, number 44 Cupra. Will Foster going first. Row 14, number 38, which is the Triple M Automotive Aston Martin. Dale Albert taking the start this time, showing Mark Albert. Alongside AFM Racing's number 63, Mark Havers will start that car. He missed race 1 with drive shaft problems. Rick Kerry, ex-BTCC man, shares that car. Then we've got number 22, which is Nick Hull going first, showing with Richard Avery and the Seat Cupra. And 138's Hugo Cook will start. Sasha Caccard takes over the Audi TCR. Let's see who's going to take the final win of the season then, waiting for the red lights to go out. A slightly depleted grid after some damage from race 1, but we're underway, and Richard Wells makes his trademark fast start. The Porsche number 69 straight into the pits there, so the repairs possibly not as effective there as the team may have wanted. Here come your leaders then, down the Craner curves. It is Richard Wells, number treble 1, who's got the lead. 87, Jimmy Broadbent in second place, looking for a double win, sharing with Gordy Much today. Third is the 29 of Richard Morris. Then we have got the number 91, started this time by Charlie Martin. Praga's to the 4, and the Tyrannus has made a super start. So Johnny McGregor in the number 3 is already up into 5th place, and he's got the lead of Class 1. Somebody may have gone... we've got safety car notification on the timing screen. Has somebody gone off at the back, possibly, on the first corner? Where's the car that's off? It's George Healer and Jonathan Beeson's TCR Golf. That's the car that ended up in the gravel at Redgate on the first corner. It's got going again. So the safety car should be out for just 1 lap. There's the Golf. Let's rejoin back as the field about to be unleashed once again. There's the green flag, and away we go, racing into the night here at Donington Park. We're back underway, down into Redgate corner for the first time. Richard Wells leads Jimmy Broadbent into the first corner, and Broadbent and Gordy Much take their second win of the day. They'll have a few seconds extra, remember, to serve at their pit stop. Wells and Tim Gray will not, because they finished outside the top 3 of the Praga Championship in their first race. So they could be among the favourites for overall victory here, but Jimmy Broadbent is not hanging about here in the 87. The leader has come in. Now the Mac G Racing Tyrannus did come in that time through. Apologies, I missed that. It's Tompkins that now leads in the Vulcan. They pitted at the same time in race 1. He's monstering through the back markers. One Aston laps another there. Aaron Morgan, the paraplegic racer, goes a lap down. Tompkins and Plato, there they go. And coming up the hill there, looks like Lewis Plato, yes, has taken the lead in the Ferrari. There's the Aston in second place. So Bon Grimes, Lewis Plato rather, is your new leader in the number 51 Ferrari. The Grimes Molim car has rejoined. There is number 87. That's Gordy Much, and he is the fastest man on track at the moment. He's done a 1:28.236, the fastest lap of the race. Are we going to see another win for the 87 Praga? And the Ferrari comes in. Lewis Plato comes in to hand over to Carl Cavers. The Aston follows him. Gleb Stepanov, the Latvian, will take over. So the 2 leaders are in, and who's going to take over at the front? Well, the next car that hasn't stopped is the number 60 Cupra of Martin Byford, the Class 4 car. Okay, your leader is now Chippy Westmail. Now the pit stops have cycled through in the Praga as the Aston comes in, so that completes the pit stoppers. Now there, I think, is our race leader. Yes, here they are. Not that first Praga, the blue one, but the next 3, that's your top 3 overall. It's Westmail, Gray, and Much. Much has done the fastest lap, 1:27.690. That's the car to watch, the 87. He's going for it. He wants a double win. They've got a lapped Praga ahead of them, and Tim Gray is going for the lead as they come down the exhibition straight towards the Fogarty S's, and he's through. Oh, there's problems there. Something flew off one of those cars. Who did that come off? I think it was the blue car there, which I think is the 85 car, possibly, that they were lapping. Something definitely flew off one of those Pragas. I think it came off the lapped car. So our 3 leaders are okay. Up the inside, Gordy Much attacking the 29 now of Chippy Westmail. Westmail sideways, so now your leader is Tim Gray. Across the line, through to second is the 87 of Gordy Much. Look at this, they're jockeying it out like remote control cars here. And the 87 is through to second as they race into the darkness here at Donington Park. Still 13 minutes of this final Brick Car Endurance category race of the season to go. No headlights on. There are the leaders, and the 87 has taken the lead. Gordy Much is in front. This Praga Championship is not over yet. There is Chippy Westmail. Something clearly amiss with the 29 car. He has lost the headlights, and the checkered flag is out. The checkered flag has come out a couple of minutes early, presumably either due to curfew reasons or because of the darkness. But the race finishes a couple of laps early. There is the McLaren over the line. So by my calculations, that means that Motus One win the Endurance Category Championship. There's your provisional result then. The 4 Pragas in the top 4. Dave Scaramanga and Will Powell 5th, and they win the Endurance category split, and provisionally the Endurance category champions as well, the winners of Class 1. Bon Grimes and Johnny Molen win Class 3 in 6th place, then the Bridle family in 7th in their Praga. 8th place goes to Johnny McGregor in the Tyrannus, then Carl Cavers and Lewis Plato 9th. 10th place for Wayne Mars and Tom Jackson in the Dodge. 11th for the Aston Martin Vulcan of Stepanovs and Tompkins. Class 4 is won by Birch and Vinal Meyer in the Ligier. Then in 13th place, Day and Foster in the Cooper, Bobby Trundley and Aaron Morgan. 15th goes to Peter Ersheg in his Porsche Cayman, and the Woodman and Byford Cupra delay at their pit stop cost them. They drop down to 16th overall, 5th in class. Then it's the Alberts in the Aston Martin, Hull and Avery and Havers and Kerry in their Cupras. Then the Morton and Collins Praga pitted a few laps from home. Then Beeson and Healer in the TCR Golf. The Fothergill Bennett's Porsche did make it to the line several laps behind, and we lost Dibden, we lost Cook and Cackard. Wheeler and Harrison's Nissan, Lacey in the Praga, and the Goddard Hollings Ferrari didn't take the start. We'll head down to Parc Fermé shortly.
Well, what an end to the Brick Car Endurance Championship season. Incredible racing, and he's just got out of the car. Let's have a chat absolutely straight away. I'll let you get your helmet off. But just brilliant. We did hear that the car of Chippy Westmail actually lost all gears with a few laps to go and all electricity, still brought it home 3rd and 2nd in the championship. But these guys in the endurance class, right, how does that feel?
Well, I'll tell you in a minute. I think we won.
Yeah, I'm fairly so. I've not seen anything ratified yet, but yeah, congratulations. It is incredible racing. Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, no, lovely race. Really nice to be racing around here in the dark, actually. But again, Dave drove a good stint, took over. That was a lot easier than the first one. And yeah, keen to see where we've ended up because we had a few communication issues there. But hopefully that's been all right.
Like I say, it turned into a night race. Didn't anticipate that at the start of the day, did you?
That's a bit of a teaser for the for the November into the night race, isn't it? But no, pleased to get the championship finished and all good.
Gordy, can we get a chat? Yeah. We've spoken to Jimmy a lot today, but not yourself. Yeah. First of all, congrats. How was that for you?
Yeah, that was awesome. The first race was already awesome. Of course, like the first lap with the carnage, we were a little bit down the order, and then with the extra safety car, other people were able to get their pit stops done. So, you know, I had all the work to do. But yeah, I got the win in the first race. But that race was just awesome because of the success penalty in race 1, longer pit stop, and I knew that those guys were up the road, and essentially for me, I had to be on the limit every single lap, and that's probably the best race that I've ever had. I was just on the limit every single lap, and then once I got there I also had to execute the moves. So yeah, great job to Tim. It was a great battle on track. Well done to Chippy as well. Yeah, I loved that one. That was great fun.
It was brilliant to watch. And what is coming for you next season?
Well, there's some announcements coming tomorrow about our possible plans. I'm not allowed to say at the moment, but you know, in terms of Praga, there's some announcements coming up in the future of the possibility of 2022, and maybe some things on top of that as well.
Fantastic. So congrats on your weekend. Could it have gone any better? Final question.
Pole position would have been nice. Apart from that, apart from the not getting the pole positions, I don't think it could have went any better. I think we got fastest lap in both races as well. So yeah, over the moon with that, and awesome to get Jimmy on the podium for the first time.
It is the Goodyear Brick Car Endurance Championship trophy category, the final point scoring race of the season. I'll take you through the grid shortly. We've got the starting drivers as well. The cars will be out onto the grid. This is a 45-minute race. Woodrow Motorsport on pole after the qualifying session this morning. It's quite a shake-up of the grid because it's the second quickest time for each car. Ollie Rubin starts the Woodrow Motorsport car. Simon Baker will take over. Starting alongside the BMW, started by Jasvir Sapra. And Brian Branson this time will take over. Row 2 is number 93, Kester Cook in his Fiesta. His race ruined by a lap 1 off in race 1. Alongside number 111, which is Axel van Nederveen in the Dayton Motorsport Ginetta. Row 3, Rob Smith starts the Peugeot RCZ, shared with Charlie Campbell. And alongside him is Ollie Turner, racing the Golf. That's actually in Class 2 invitation, not 3 invitation, as we said earlier on. So Ollie Turner in the Golf starts on Row 3. Row 4 is the second of our championship contenders, the County Classics Porsche of Richard Higgins. Alongside the number 2 Ginetta, Peter Spano starts that car. Adriano Medeiros will take over. Row 5 is the Jam Sport Nissan, although I don't think that car is starting. They had problems in race 1, so I don't think David May and Mark Skeets are there. That's going to help Richard Higgins because he's in the same class as them. They were his main rival in race 1. Number 80 should be there though, the Anthony Hutchins and Chris Dawkins Porsche Boxster. Anthony Hutchins starts. Row 6 is the Thompson family Clio, our third championship contender. Aaron Thompson starts, Steve takes over. Alongside another Westbourne Motorsport Clio, Grant Williams starts the number 64 car, Richard Colburn takes over. And then another Westbourne Clio, the class winner in race 1, number 67, James Black, starts alongside the Team Brits. BMW started this time by Andrew Tucker. He'll hand over to Paul Vokes. Row 8 is our race 1 winner. His second quickest lap time in qualifying, Mark Lee, only good enough for 15th on the grid for race 2 in the Ginetta, alongside number 77, which is the Golf of Anthony Rogers and Rob Ellick. Rob Ellick takes the start. Row 9 is the number 19, the Reflex Ginetta G20. Tony Draper starts that car once again. Steve Griffiths takes over. Number 83 next, the Cook family in the Derek McMahon run Honda Civic. Edward Cook takes the start. Then on the 10th row we have the second Team Brits at BMW, started by Christian Overend. Luke Pound takes over. Starting alongside number 8, the Porsche Boxster. This time Lee Smart is going first and Kevin Hancock takes over. 62 is another Westbourne Clio. That's the car we saw crash out of race 1. James Colburn takes the start this time. Ellis Bardsley takes over. Starting alongside the 57, the Alfa Romeo Giulietta. Barry McMahon going first. Paul Plant, his co-driver. On row 12 is number 46, the Golf, started by Rob Taylor. Mark Jones shares with him. That's the Golf that won Class 3 in race 1, starting alongside number 50, the BC Cars Mazda MX-5 Ballester Eason. Row 13, number 45, which is Arthur McMahon in his Honda Civic, starting alongside the number 4 Spires Motorsport Clio. Darren Gerhardt is the starting driver. Anton Spires takes over. The second Mazda MX-5, number 75, is next on row number 14. That's driven by Colin Wells. Starting alongside 35, the Chandler Motorsports Golf. Andy Wheatley goes first. Stephen Chandler takes over. Row 15, number 99, that's the Golf that got a penalty for track limits in race 1. Kerry O'Donnell starting this time. Simon McCormick will take over. Alongside number 28, that's the Motus One Invitation Spec Clio. It's Brad Thurston who starts. Will Powell will take over. The number 11 car is a non-starter. That's the Clio of Steve O'Brien and Andrew Bourke. Unfortunately, they had an accident in qualifying. The number 6 car should be there, though. Possibly the Quattro Motorsport Ginetta of Bill Forbes. Just check the list there. No, apparently that car is also a non-starter. And we'll wait to see if Mac G Racing have got their Mazda RX-8 ready after problems in qualifying. If it's there, Josh Tomlinson starts, and Johnny McGregor, who had a win in the Tyrannus in the endurance category yesterday, will take over. The red lights are on. 45 minutes of racing getting underway here in the dusk at Donington Park. Red lights are out. We're racing. Down towards the first corner they go. Decent starts by Kester Cook in that Ford Fiesta at the inside, and Aaron Thompson already attacking in the Clio. Wants to put distance between himself and the other Clios in this race, try and take the class win, but it is Woodrow Motorsport number 10 who have held their lead. Ollie Rubin at the wheel, didn't get to race in race 1, the car dropped out at half distance. It's Kester Cook, he's up into second place. The Pocket Rocket Fiesta has got ahead of Jasvir Sapra's BMW M3. Rob Smith in the Peugeot RCZ that led the first half of race 1 in the wet is in 4th place, and then Axel van Nederveen, Ollie Turner and the rest of them. Look at that beautiful shot there as we go up towards McLaren's in the sunsets. Mark Lee's already made up a few places, the race 1 winner in the Ginetta. Team Britain next in the order, the number 70 BMW driven by Andrew Tucker. Sapra dodging about there to defend from Rob Smith in the Peugeot RCZ. Rob Smith will stay in that car as long as he can here before handing to Charlie Campbell. He's the quicker of the two drivers, but he's gone wide there, he's on the grass, and Axel van Nederveen could take both of them and move up into 3rd. There's smoke there down, that's towards the hairpin. What has happened there? I could see a cloud of smoke. I couldn't see which car is involved. Oh, it's a Clio. It's James Black. That's the car that won the Clio class in race 1. The safety car, I think, is being called. Okay, as Mark Lee makes a move past Ollie Turner there. That could be the reason why. Look at the 64 car. That's Grant Williams in the Clio. He's hit something. We're not sure what. So he's hit something. It's debris from that car and whatever he's hit that has caused the safety car, dragging the front bumper underneath itself. At the back there, the 64 Clio has rejoined. Look at the state of that. A whole roll of black gaffer tape there holding the bumper on. Fair play to the 64 team. That's Richard Coburn and Grant Williams in the Westbourne Clio. Sights and sounds of racing at Donington, and as seems to happen in most Brit Car Trophy races, the pit window opens just as the safety car comes in, so a load of cars have followed the safety car into pit lane. Right, who's come in then? Kester Cook in the Fiesta has come in. The Rogers and Ellick Golf, the McMahon Plant Alfa Romeo, the Taylor Jones Golf, the Hutchins Dawkins Boxster, Arthur McMahon's Honda Civic, the Thurston Powell Clio, and the Spano Medeiros Ginetta G40. They've all pitted at first opportunity because the pit window opened just as the safety car was going in. So none of the leaders have come in yet. One of them has now. Jasvir Sapra is in. Brian Branson is going to take over. I think it's Kerry still on board. Yes, that car hasn't pitted yet, nor has the leader. 18.5 minutes to go, and Ollie Rubin continues to pound round Donington Park in the lead. He wants as big a lead as possible to hand over. Meanwhile, Mark Lee has come in, and so has Rob Smith to hand the Peugeot over to Charlie Campbell. They're both in. They've yet to stop, and the leader has come in. Ollie Rubin is in the pit lane, I can tell you. There's the taped together Clio in the pits. Headlights shining through the gaffer tape. Mark Lee and Rob Smith had already made their stops. And Axel van Nederveen is coming in as well. And they are. There's Axel van Nederveen with the leader next to it. The only 3 cars that have yet to stop are Team Brit, number 70, Andy Tucker and Paul Vokes. And off goes the Peugeot. That's Charlie Campbell into the gravel at the old hairpin and out of the race. There is the number 10, just getting a push back from the crew, making sure they release Simon Baker safely. Don't want any unsafe release penalties. There he goes. Here's Axel van Nederveen in the Ginetta. Oh, he stalled it. Disaster for van Nederveen. Gets it going now. There's Richard Higgins, one of our title contenders in the pit lane. He was one of the last to come in. There's the snatch vehicle retrieving Charlie Campbell. He'd only just taken over the Peugeot RCZ, and he's in the gravel out of the race. And yes, the safety car is coming out. Now, we can, I think, hand down to the pits again with Ewan. I think he's got Ollie Rubin with him in just a moment.
So we've moved from the Thompson garage over to Simon Baker and Ollie Rubin. Ollie, incredible first stint, mate.
Yeah, thank you. It was hard.
How was it?
Yeah, it was hard. The track is still greasy. And then on lap 1, something blew up. Coming out of the chicane down to the Melbourne Loop, and it literally just put a line of oil the whole way down, and then it was just sat behind the safety car, and then when it come in, didn't warm the tyres up enough, and it caught me off guard a bit. But we got a decent enough lead. And
I mean, it wasn't just easy; it was 14 seconds, mate. It's incredible.
Thank you, mate. Yeah, it was hard.
What was the change in tactics? You going first this time?
that's something that we tend to do. Simon goes first in the first race, I go first in the second race. That's normally what we do.
And it's put you in a great position for the championship too.
I hope so, mate. We're P1, but it's very close. Van Nederveen is right behind us, so.
It is ridiculous. I think before this race it was 3 points separating the top three, so all to play for still, but you've put him in a great position.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't know what to say. It's like so close, like so bloody close. So.
Ollie, well done, mate. It is all nerves down here back in the pits. I'm going to go back up to the commentary box with Dave.
Well, there is the safety car. Thanks, Ewan. Waiting to pick up our leader. Yes, we are. 2 minutes sprint to the line. Then here we go. Listen to this. Here we go then, the sprint for the line in our Britcar season closer. It is Baker and Rubin who have held their advantage with the number 10 BMW. They're heading down into the Craner curves. There's the BMW of number 40, Brian Branson. He's in 4th place. No, it is not. The last lap board goes up. So the last lap of the Britcar Trophy season is headed by Simon Baker. Van Nederveen in 2nd place. He was a few seconds too early there. Kester Cook in 3rd, ahead of Brian Branson. Here they come, and there is the checkered flag. The number 10 BMW wins it. Axel Van Nederveen comes over in 2nd. Sapra and Branson take 3rd, just ahead of Kester Cook. Now here's the result then. Baker and Rubin take the win and win Class 1 as well. Less than a second clear of Axel Van Nederveen in the Ginetta. Sapra and Branson 3rd, ahead of the little Fiesta of Kester Cook. Then McGregor and Tomlinson from the back of the grid through to 5th. Well done to them. Ollie Turner wins Class 2 invitation in 6th place. 7th for Mark Lee, the Race 1 winner in his Ginetta. And in 8th place, Spano and Medeiros win Class 2 in their Ginetta G40, ahead of Richard Higgins. That's rather put the kibosh on his title hopes, unfortunately. Well done to the Porsche driver, though. Great season. 10th place going to Hutchins and Dawkins in their Porsche Boxster. 11th for Tucker and Vokes. They drop back on the final restart in their BMW for Team Brits. 12th for Griffiths and Draper, they win Class 3. And 13th for the Thompsons, they win the Clio class. 14th for Rogers and Ellick in their Golf. 15th for Spires and Gerhardts in their Clio. And further back, 16th for Colburn and Bardsley. 3rd in Class 3 for the Cooks in their Honda. Pound and Overend for Team Brits. Finished in 4th in Class 3 and 18th. 19th for Colburn and Williams. Completing the top 20, the Alfa Giulietta of McMahon and Plant. Hancock and Smart next in their Porsche Boxster. Then Jones and Taylor. The stop-go penalty proving their undoing this time. McCormick and O'Donnell next. I think they ended up in the gravel. Likewise, Colin Wells. Chandler and Wheatley hobbled by mechanical problems. Campbell and Smith retired after that off at the old hairpin. We lost Thurston and Powell. We lost the McMahon Honda Civic early on. James Black, of course, blew his engine in the Clio. And Alistair Eason not classified. Well, hopefully Ewan has got his searchlight down there in Parc Fermé to find some of the drivers. And we can hear from some of our Britcar racers in a few minutes' time.
We're going to speak to our winners here. They've already celebrated a bit themselves. Simon and Ollie, come in. Congratulations, guys. All secured, confirmed. How does it feel?
Oh, mega, mate. Absolutely mega. 1 point.
We spoke to you about 10 minutes ago. You were a bit nervous.
I was absolutely...
Don't say it.
Yeah, absolutely. Myself, yeah.
But you put in a 14-second stint to give you an advantage. How much did that mean to you, Simon?
Oh, it just took a lot of pressure off. But obviously, it was a little bit stressful towards the end with the safety car. I just, thought the race might just pan out behind the safety car, but it was pretty stressful. But it's good. Obviously, the car's amazing. The guys, Woodrow Motorsport, built an amazing car, and first season, and we've won. So.
What were your expectations at the start of the season? Is this sort of beyond that, or do you always think it was believable?
Yeah, I think
absolutely,
reliability, isn't it? Reliability issues did cost us a little bit earlier on. So, but to win a championship for they's guys, they're the ones who know how important it is, and now so.
And we know about the changes to Britcar next season becoming the British Endurance Championship. It's going to be much longer races. You guys looking forward to that? You're going to be involved?
Hope so, mate. Yeah, absolutely.
We want to go on a Saturday, take this car to the next level. Yeah. So during the winter, we'll get it up to speed.
Fantastic. I'm going to let you swap that water for some champagne. Guys, go and celebrate. Congratulations. Well done.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Ewan Dunlop, our man down on the ground in Parc Fermé and in the pit lane. Sterling job he has done this weekend. Thank you very much to him, and thank you very much indeed to everyone from Britcar this weekend, their drivers, their teams and officials. Congratulations to Woodrow Motorsport. If our maths is correct, they are the champions by just 1 point. So congratulations to Simon Baker, to Ollie Rubin, and also Kevin Clark, who drove for them earlier in the season with the BMW 1 Series. But that just about wraps things up here at a rather dark Donington today. Thank you for being with us today, everyone. Special thank you as always to our volunteer marshals. We couldn't go racing without the Orange Army. Also the medical staff, the recovery crews, they've been kept fairly busy today. The race control staff and everyone else from the British Automobile Racing Club for making this event possible. Thanks to all the drivers for their entertainment across the weekend, to their backup teams and mechanics for keeping the cars running, and everyone else for their support. It's time to say goodbye from Donington Park. We hope you've enjoyed the action. We hope you can join us from Brands Hatch in a couple of weeks' time. From myself, Dave Goddard, and everyone else here at Donington Park and from the British Automobile Racing Club, thank you very, very much indeed for watching. Bye for now.